Hi, I'm Antipodish. I am developer of UMeFate. Today I would like to talk a bit about AI system which I'm implementing and building for UMeFate. This is a prototype. This is not in-game yet, and whatever you will see, it is actually made in game engine, Unity. So I'm preparing this system and testing before implementing, before it is ready. But first, let's dive into a bit more details, what it is, how it works, and what it involves. So let me switch from the very basics. So this AI system, which is non-generative AI, it is the AI which is for autonomy of behaviors of characters like Yumis, but it could be also involved in different type of systems. Something which applies or is affected by vision, by hearing, by heating, by magic, happiness, or anything else. I'm building system in such way that it should be compatible with the Lua and the modding functionality. So modders will be able to add new systems. But in this case, we have those 5 basic systems just for the testing purposes. And in specific screen, what you see at the moment, you have 2 influences active at the moment. Green is vision and yellow is magic. There's nothing happening besides the relation. I'm talking about the relation, the observable system. Something in terms of the mechanics, this is something for the future. So, in this case, we observe relation between those 3 instances. This could be characters, this could be heater, this could be tree. Tree can give the happiness to characters, heat can give the heat to characters. But there might be something which affects maybe other objects. Let's say the watering gives the growth for the trees, or could be something negative. Like bad item can bring, make other items to break apart or make Yumis get scared. So this is up to future development and modding functions. What actually gonna happen? But first thing first, the relation systems and the items interconnection observable systems need to be implemented. And why this is important before anything else? Because in UMeFate world, I'm expecting to have, my goal is to have 1,000 of Yumis, up to 1,000 of Yumis, along with many other systems. And the system which brings or gives the influence and have any type of observables, it could be in range of 100,000s. Not all of them will be active. Not all of them will interact in any given time. But there are potential for those big numbers, so the performance is important here. And means optimization. So this is the core mechanics which is developed in Unity using dots, but not using the ECS. Dots means data-oriented technology stack. So the focus on the performance. So as we see here, first thing first, if you got thousands of instances, you don't want to search every item, every instance by any other instance. You chunkify into smaller grid. And in this case, actually, we have different grids per different type. So vision has on grid and is dynamic, it's changing. As you see, those grid changes. And looking around, looking in the range, I am in the range, so make it connection, or I'm not in the range. So I'm looking at this grid, and this grid, if there is anything in the range. Of course, each influence and each observable has own ranges, own distance, and it can be changed via setting the values. Additional things, you see the white lines, those are events which are fired for specific interaction and how often they're fired. So by every 21 seconds, every 5 seconds, and there's a bit some randomness for testing purposes. So we got firing of the magic event, some influence or whatever is affected. The thicker line means the influence is going from here to there and from here to there. But in this case, we got just influence going from here to there. Now, the grid allows the optimization. So I don't have whole world fully of grid. Grid is getting added or removed. And more items instances are in the grid. Then you just check those instances in that grid or the choose neighbors grid. But you don't need to search multiple grids ahead because the grid is the size of the furthest range. You can see here instances walking around. So we got around 1,000 of these instances in total in this scene. So you see as the influence is changing and is affected depending on the distance. So imagine you as a character, as Yumi, you walk through the town and you got different Yumis which talk around with different characters. And now you coming into influence and you can hear it. You can hear something talks about something else. Or the vision, something happening, and you actually see those things. And the interesting part is the whole world is living. It's not just simulated or pre-simulated behavior, or when I switch to another part of the world where things are pre-computed. It's all simulated. So that's the concept of UMeFate, that whole world is aimed to be living. So I think this most important aspect, so let's zoom in out and see how things behaving and the scanning. So imagine you got like trees, or you got different part of the town and characters walking around. Some influences in the future might be obstructed by, let's say, wall. For example, you don't gonna see things through the wall, or you're not gonna hear through the wall. Of course, you know, this discussion, for example, the radio in the next room should be able to hear or not. That's something to be implemented in the future. But the concept is that if there's obstruction, the characters need to actually walk around, or actually to see something, to spot, or even the concept that actually the character needs to look in the specific direction. But if there is heat, some object is, let's say in the fire, you got relation of other objects and you're heating up other objects, right? So the other objects can potentially catch the fire as well. So this is not new concept. Many games implement that. Let's say The Sims implement this kind of system, although the system is in much smaller scale and more localized. Let's say per room or per house, per household. Where in this case, this will be whole world actually interacting in real time and different kind of interactions. So there could be fire in multiple houses at the same time. There could be family talking between each other in different part of the town, different households. And they are independent of the events. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share at the moment. And this is a bit of distraction, I would say, from me working on UI, which I'm finalizing at the moment, still testing, still got bits to do. But these last few days I spent just doing that because it sat in my head and I couldn't get it off. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna build this. I'm gonna test it. Even today I found a couple of bugs, which I have resolved before I recorded this video. So I know this mechanics is working. I had this actually idea for at least a year, maybe more. I knew how to implement it, just never actually sat to do it. And just added some visualization part. And now I'm sharing with you guys this progress. So that's it. Thank you for watching and speak to you soon. See ya.